Good afternoon, Bronx Zoo explorers. Welcome aboard to the Wild Asia Monorail. My name is Rhino and I'll be your guide and driver. For your safety, please remain seated at all times with your hands and feet inside the car. Here at the Bronx Zoo, we are the headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society, also known as the WCS. We have scientists and eco-guards working in the field, and zookeepers working here at home to protect animals all around the world. I will point out animals as we approach them, but I will need your help. Scientists and zookeepers need good observation skills to learn about animal behaviors and ensure their health. Let me know what you see and share with other guests. Think about what an animal is doing and what your observations might be. We have now traveled over 7,000 miles and arrived in Asia. Be on the lookout for animals. In this exhibit, we could see India's national bird, the peafowl. The males are called peacocks and the females are called peahens. The males are the ones with the long, beautiful colored feathers that they use to attract the peahens. In this exhibit, we usually have deers, but they have migrated towards the back end of this exhibit. We'll be catching up with them in about 7 minutes. Here's some more about our conservation work for deer.
Hi, farmers in...
Let me see you. The rhinos.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm part of the Wild Asia Keeper team. We call this area Kamha Meadow, where we care for about 40 ⁴ deer, 15 axis deer, 10 black buck, and a pair of muntjac. We start our day by checking on all the animals, making sure they are healthy, behaving normally, and safe. Sometimes, fawns and calves are born overnight. Newborns are given a neonatal exam, which includes weighing, vaccination, and tagging for identification purposes. While the animals are in the meadow, we prepare their nighttime holding areas so that they have a safe and clean place to spend the night.
Farmers in Indonesia live closely with wild animals, like elephants, which we will see shortly. WCS field staff work with local leaders and farmers in Indonesia to come up with the Crop Protection Unit. This unit created many different ways for farming to continue in close proximity of wild animals. One strategy was to soak ropes in chili powder and place them around the crops. Elephants do not like chili and leave the farms alone, allowing the farmer and the animals to share the habitat peacefully.
We all know that a species that is extinct no longer exists, like the dinosaur or the dodo bird. The next animal we'll see was on the verge of extinction. In fact, the Mongolian wild horse, also known as the ⁴ horse, was extinct in nature. They could only be found in zoos. Recently, there have been some reintroduction of Mongolian wild horses in several areas in Mongolia and China compared to North American and Asian zoos. We currently have 5 Mongolian horses at the exhibit today. Some differences you may notice between these animals and the more domesticated ones we're used to seeing are that they have a stockier build, shorter legs, and an erect mane which is missing a forelock. Here's a note from one of our field scientists.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive. Prabowski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. And on a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories. To watch the impossible become possible, and we see hope restored. That's what's happening today.
The Bronx Zoo received its first animals in 1902. Today, we have had over 50 ⁴ horse foals born here at the Bronx Zoo. As you can see, we give our Mongolian horses plenty of space to run around, as this entire part of the exhibit is just for them. We are now on the lookout for 2 vulnerable endangered species. One is very large. Look for a curve-shaped antler and you have found a brow-antlered deer. If you see a very large animal, that is the Gaur. It looks like our animals have migrated towards the right-hand side of this exhibit. We'll be catching up to them in just a moment. But first, let me tell you something about them. The brow-antlered deer get their name from the curved shape of the male's antlers. Currently classified as vulnerable, these deer are continuing to lose their wild space. In many places, herds must resort to feeding on crops as their natural habitat has been taken over for farming. You will not be getting a look at those antlers today since it's Ladies' Day out. If you look all the way towards the back of the exhibit against the fence line, you can see our deers. And if you look all the way towards the back right hand side, you're gonna see a large chocolate colored animal. That is the gaur. You don't even need binoculars to get a good look at the gaur. They're the largest wild cattle in the world. Males can weigh over 2,000 pounds, as much as a small car. They stand up to 6 feet tall and are 10 feet long. With their large size and impressive horns, a male gaur can fight up just about anything, even a tiger. A fun fact about these animals, if the gaur horns point straight up, you're looking at a male gaur. If the horns curve at the top, it is a female gaur. As we practice our scientific observation skills, you might be hearing noise coming from a concrete jungle rather than an Asian one. It's easy to forget that the Bronx Zoo sits in the heart of an urban environment. But the noise you may hear behind you now is traffic on the Bronx River Parkway. The large fence directly in front of us is used to reduce the noise of the city traffic. As we round the corner, we are now at the lookout for a tiger. Tiger stripes, parallax, and camouflage, so they were often difficult to spot. They're so secretive that even professional researchers have trouble finding them. Adult tigers are typically solitary and live alone in the wild, which is why you only see one of them in the exhibit at a time. As we look for the tiger, I ask everyone to please remain seated. He's gonna be all the way to the right hand side inside the pond. He's in the water right now. That is our Himalayan tiger. His name is Rimba. He's 15 years old and weighs approximately 350 pounds. Tigers hunt a variety of animals, but they prefer wild pig and medium-sized deer. Typically, a tiger will gorge itself on a fresh kill, eating as much as 40 pounds of meat at one time. Just think, that is the equivalent of 160 hamburgers in one sitting. After a meal of that size, a tiger will usually not eat again for several days. Here's more about what we do in the field.
WCS works with many species of tigers in the wild and at the zoo. Here is a note from one of our field scientists about his experience working with rangers to protect tigers in Indonesia.
Hi, my name is ⁴ᴷ⁶⁷. I'm helping the rangers of the national park to lead the forest patrol.
Hey, if you look up the hill, you can see our gaur again.
But then we also found that some snares are installed inside the forest, which become threats to the animals. We dismantle the snares to make sure that the tigers are safe.
You can get a closer look at tigers by visiting Tiger Mountain. If you look all the way towards the back of this exhibit, there's going to be some small deers or white bellies. There's one right in front of us. To the right hand side towards the bottom, there's going to be large golden deers. Those are the ⁴ᴷ⁶⁷ deer. Black-buck antelope are sexually dimorphic, meaning that males and females look different from each other. The word ⁴ᴷ⁶⁷ in the Hindi language means 12 times. That's because the males could have 12 to 14 points on their antlers. This next animal blends in with the muddy area it calls home. And if you see what looks like a pig with vibrant tusks, they wrap to the top of its snout and curve backwards towards its eyes, you have found the pig called the barbarossa. The fact that the tusks resemble antlers earned this pig's name. Barbarossa means pig deer in the Malay language. What might these tusks be for? The male barbarossas use the tusks to fight other males and display dominance in order to attract females. Barbarossas have very little hair in their bodies, and their skin color allows them to blend in with the mud and rocks. This can make them hard to find. As a reminder, I need everyone to please remain seated, especially when we come into our next exhibit, and try not to make too much noise because we do not want to scare our next animals. Our next animal is the world's largest land mammal. So no binoculars needed. We can now see our Asian elephant. African and Asian elephants are an iconic animal worldwide, but unfortunately, they're struggling in the wild. The Asian elephant you see right here, her name is Happy. She's almost 50 years old. As an up-and-coming field scientist, what do you notice when observing our elephant? The first thing I notice is her size. An Asian elephant can weigh more than 10,000 pounds, so they have to eat a lot of vegetation. For example, our elephants can eat up to 200 pounds of hay each day and drink 60 gallons of water. Elephants get lots of personal attention here at the Bronx Zoo, including baths and pedicures. The large tree stump to the left of the exhibit is their elephant-sized back scratcher. We now pull away from the elephant zone and are on the lookout for another large mammal. This animal has skin that looks like armor plates, has a big horn in front of its nose, and it looks like it weighs about 3,500 pounds. If you guessed rhino, you are correct. We're looking for our Indian rhino. Her name is Kali. It looks like she's on the other side of this exhibit. We'll be catching up to her in just a moment. Today, all rhinos are highly endangered. Less than 2,000 Indian rhinos survive in India and Nepal. Here at the Bronx Zoo, we care for 5 endangered Indian rhinos. We have had great success with Indian rhinos. Caring for this very rare animal is one thing, but breeding is a huge challenge. How many moms do we have on the train today? Think about this, mom. A female rhino is pregnant for 16 months. Can you imagine being pregnant for almost a year and a half? A baby rhino will stay with its mother for 2 to 3 years, although weaning may only take 12 to 16 months. We have had 11 baby rhinos born here at the Bronx Zoo. Many people describe rhinos as armor-plated, but they're actually covered in a layer of skin that has many folds. Though the skin of a rhino looks thick and tough, it is actually very sensitive and needs protection from the sun and from insects. One of the rhino's favorite ways to protect its skin is to sit in a mud wallow like the one in this exhibit. Since Wild Asia opened in 1977, many rhinos have spent time enlarging this wallow. By stomping around in the mud, a rhino can shape and mold its area to its liking. Once again, this is our Indian rhino. Her name is Kali. Here at the Bronx Zoo, we help animals like rhinos and tigers by participating in a zoo management program called Species Survival Plan. The name says it all. It is a plan to help these animals survive. Zoos across the world work together to maintain genetically diverse populations of rare and endangered species. As we leave the rhino area behind, we need to be ready as the skills are about to be tested. In the next 2 areas, you will see what a challenging job our zookeepers really have. We're looking for 5 different deer species and 1 kind of antelope. Our largest deer might be easy to find at 5 feet tall. Another deer is only 40 pounds and barks almost like a dog. What do you see first? Share your findings with your group. And if you look towards the right-hand side in like the center, to the right-hand side on the fence line, there's going to be some large dark brown deers that kind of look like reindeers. And there's gonna be a deer right in front of the fence line. It's a medium size and it has spots. That's the Formosan Sika deer. Once again, the medium sized deer with spots is the Formosan Sika deer. The large dark brown deer is the sandbar deer. As we turn, you're gonna look towards the left hand side against the fence line. You're gonna see some small deers. Those are the hog deers. The hog deer gets its name because it's short and heavy like a hog. This deer also moves like a hog. It creeps, runs low, and ducks under things rather than leaping over things like most other deer. When alarmed, a hog deer will make a whistling sound or a warning bark. The Formosan Sika deer is native to the island of Taiwan. Formerly known as Formosa, overhunting and habitat loss have eliminated the last fire herds of the spotted deer in the early 1970s. Today, they're only found in zoos or national parks in Taiwan, where they were successfully reintroduced. The sandbar deer is the largest deer species in southern Asia. Males stand 5 feet tall at the shoulder and can weigh as much as 650 pounds. You're gonna look towards the right-hand side and follow this dirt road all the way up to the top of the hill. There, in that shaded area, there you're gonna see the rest of our animals. They're all at the top of the hill. Once again, the large dark brown deer, that is the sandbar deer. The large tan-colored animal with white markings on its face and a white rump, that's the Nilgai antelope. The small little deers are the hog deers, and the medium-sized deer with spots is the Formosan sika deer. It's usually hard to spot our next animal. At less than 40 pounds, China's tufted deer might be easy to miss. A fun fact about this animal, when it's tufted, you're going to look towards the back of this exhibit, all the way towards the back. On top of the rock there, you're going to see a little small deer. That is China's tufted deer. That is actually a fully grown deer. Just like the white-tailed deer here in New York, tufted deer have a white tail and rump. This can be important for deer communication. When alarmed, the deer rises its tail, showing a flash of white that can sense danger to other deer, helping fawn to follow its mother in flight. These little deers do not like the warm weather, so they will usually hide. It's very hard to spot one of them. Now if you look all the way towards the back past the trees, you can see our Asian elephant again. We are now passing back over the Bronx River. Thousands of commuters cross this waterway every day, but on the need for highways, not elevated tracks, the river still rushes along, creating a habitat for ducks, turtles, fish, and migrating birds. If you look carefully, you might see the outline of fish. Whether it's the Bronx River here in New York or the Irrawaddy River in Asia, rivers and streams are vital resources for wildlife everywhere. The rocky terrain in this next area is the perfect environment for the next two species. Both were adapted to climb rugged mountain slopes. You're going to look towards the bottom of the rock. There you're going to see our Himalayan tahr. And sitting on the top of the rock, the goat that you see, that is the ⁴ That is actually our grandpa ⁴ That is the oldest ⁴ in this exhibit. He is also the alpha male. His name is Grandpa Herb. A fun fact about the ⁴ is that they could jump 6 feet high in the air without a running start. In this exhibit, we have two kinds of species of wild goats. We have the ⁴s and we have the Himalayan tahrs. Actually, if you look towards the right-hand side, you can see one of our ⁴s on top of a tree trunk. You can tell the differences between our goats by looking at their horns. If you found that the horns spiral upwards like a corkscrew, you're looking at a ⁴ If you found that the horns spiral that curve straight backwards, you're looking at a Himalayan tahr. As we come into this next part of this exhibit, once we pass the V on this tree, we can see our red panda, Linus. He's currently towards the bottom of the tree. He's walking towards the top. Once again, that is our red panda, Linus. People have always been fascinated by the color of their fur. In Nepal, the red panda is called Hunho, which roughly translates to mean firefox. The Chinese word for red panda translates to small bear cat. Today we know red pandas are closely related to skunks, raccoons, and weasels. They are not really related to the giant panda, though they both eat bamboo. To see more red pandas, you can visit the Himalayan Highlands exhibit, which is located just a short walk from the monorail. There you can also see one of Asia's big cats, the snow leopard. As we round this bend, our journey is almost at an end. You have heard from some of our animal experts here in the field and tried out some of your own science skills while on this ride. We hope you have been inspired by what you have heard and seen today. Remember, the Bronx Zoo is part of the Wildlife Conservation Society, also known as the WCS. In addition to managing 5 parks in New York City, Bronx Zoo, the New York Aquarium, Central Park Zoo, Queens Zoo, and Prospect Park Zoo, the WCS has scientists in the field at more than 300 sites in over 60 countries. Conflicts between human and wildlife are becoming a more common concern all around the world.